Beneath Africa's soil lies trillion-dollar wealth. Within our youth lies untapped genius. At the wealth beneath, we're bridging this gap. We transform complex industry knowledge into practical solutions each week, demonstrating how technical education and resource development can create real opportunities. From mining to renewable energy, we're uncovering the path to Africa's prosperity. Ready to discover our true potential? Subscribe now. The Wealth Beneath. Every year in Africa, 12 million young people chase 3 million jobs, which means 9 million dreams are shattered. Picture a counter ticking upwards. 9 million, 18 million, 27 million. This gap is growing year by year as young people leave school with hope, only to face the harsh reality of unemployment. Meet Amina, a 21-year-old who graduated with a degree in business management. She spends her days helping her family sell vegetables on the roadside. Despite her education, there's no job waiting for her. She thought that studying hard was the answer, but now wonder why she even went to school. This isn't just Amina's story, it's the reality for millions of young Africans. The education system isn't just falling short, it's pushing them further away from opportunity. Let's dive deeper into the numbers. Women are bearing the brunt of this crisis. Across Africa, 51% of young women are unemployed. The rates are even higher in some regions, reaching nearly 70%. For these women, unemployment doesn't just mean a lack of income, it means a lifetime of limited opportunity, dependence, and unrealized potential. But here's the paradox. Africa is one of the wealthiest continents in terms of natural resources. The continent boasts enormous wealth, from gold and diamonds to oil and gas. Yet, this wealth isn't translating into jobs. Why? Because there's a massive disconnect between the skills young people are taught and the skills industries need. The traditional education system focuses on theory, preparing students for scarce white-collar jobs. Meanwhile, sectors like agriculture, construction, and technology struggle to fill technical roles that require hands-on expertise. This mismatch is costing African economies billions in lost productivity. According to a World Bank report, youth unemployment could reduce GDP growth by up to 2% annually. It's a cost Africa cannot afford to bear. How did we get here? To understand the problem, we need to look back. Historically, education in Africa was designed during the colonial era to create administrators and clerks, not innovators or technicians. This system, essentially unchanged, doesn't meet the needs of a rapidly modernizing world. The global job market has evolved. Traditional jobs in office settings are shrinking, replaced by roles in STEM, trades, and the digital economy. In Africa, industries like renewable energy, agri-tech, and construction are growing fast, but the workforce isn't equipped to fill these roles. Take the resource sector as an example. Africa can potentially be a global leader in mineral extraction and energy production. Still, many of these jobs are outsourced because there aren't enough trained locals to handle the technical demands. The result? A missed opportunity to create wealth and employment within the continent. Africa needs a skills revolution, a shift from rote memorization to practical job-ready training. And the solution lies in technical and vocational education. Africa has 98 million out-of-school children, more than any other region globally. That's equivalent to the entire population of Egypt being denied an education. The problem varies significantly by country. In Nigeria, 20 million children are out of school, the highest in the world. In Ethiopia, the number stands at over 2.6 million. In South Sudan, conflict and instability have left more than 2 million children without access to education. The divide between urban and rural areas adds another layer of inequality. Children in cities are more likely to attend school, but in rural communities, education often stops at the primary level, if it happens. Poor infrastructure, like the lack of school buildings or transport, makes it nearly impossible for children in remote areas to attend school consistently. Then there's the cost barrier. Many families can't afford school fees, uniforms, or supplies, forcing children to stay home or work to support their families. Hidden costs like transportation and meals make staying in school challenging for those who enroll. Young men fare slightly better, but not by much. 43% of them also struggle to find work, leaving millions stuck in a cycle of frustration and economic insecurity. To make matters worse, only 26.7% of African youth complete secondary education. For the majority, this means they enter the workforce without the skills or qualifications needed for today's job market. This isn't just an employment crisis, it's a crisis of wasted potential, economic stagnation, and unfulfilled dreams. The reality of Africa's education system isn't just about those who get in. It's about those who are left behind, the students who drop out before they ever have a chance to succeed. Let these numbers sink in. 1 in 5 children aged 6 to 11 will never set foot in a classroom. Worldwide, 244 million children are out of school, with the highest concentration in sub-Saharan Africa. In this region, 18% of children drop out before even finishing primary school. But these aren't just numbers. Each statistic represents a child whose dream has been cut short, a future compromised, potential locked away forever. When children drop out, it's not just their education that's lost. It's their chance to break the cycle of poverty, to contribute to their communities, to change their own stories. This isn't just an education crisis. It's a crisis of hope, of opportunity, and of what could have been. In Africa, education isn't just divided by access, it's divided by wealth. And nowhere is this divide more evident than in the stark contrast between private and public schools. Let's expose the gap. For those who can afford them, private schools offer a vastly different reality. Small class sizes that allow teachers to give personalized attention. Well-trained teachers who are often better paid and more qualified. Modern facilities equipped with up-to-date technology, science labs, and sports amenities. Quality resources like new textbooks, digital tools, and diverse extracurricular programs. And the results speak for themselves. Private school students consistently outperform their peers in public schools with higher literacy rates, better exam scores, and improved chances of pursuing higher education. Now, let's take a closer look at public schools, the reality for the majority of African youth. While private schools offer opportunity, public schools struggle to meet even the most basic needs. Overcrowded classrooms where one teacher is expected to manage 60, 80, or even 100 students. Undertrained teachers who often lack the support and resources needed to succeed. Crumbling infrastructure, leaking roofs, broken desks, and classrooms without electricity. Missing textbooks, forcing students to share or go without entirely. And struggling students fighting to learn in an environment that sets them up to fail. This creates two Africas. One where quality education is bought, opening doors to opportunity and success. Another where dreams are sold short, leaving young people trapped in cycles of poverty and unemployment. And here's the cruel irony. Those who need quality education the most, those who could transform their lives with just a little support, are the ones who can least afford it. While private schools produce graduates who are ready for the job market, public schools, where most of our youth study, struggle to provide even a basic education. But here's what makes this gap even more tragic. Whether private or public, both systems are failing to prepare students for the real world. Both systems focus on theoretical education, leaving students unprepared for the industries that are desperate for skilled workers. It's a broken system, one that prioritizes memorization over application, degrees over skills, and theory over practice. And while this gap continues to grow, industries across Africa are crying out for technical skills, the very skills that could bridge this divide and build a stronger future for our continent. Let's look at what we've uncovered. In Africa today, 12 million youth chase just 3 million jobs. More than half our young women remain unemployed. Our classrooms burst with 100 students, while most teachers lack proper training. And the gap between private and public education grows wider every day. But beyond these numbers are real stories. Stories like Amina's bright, educated, selling vegetables instead of building businesses. Technical positions sit empty while graduates search for work. The wealth beneath our feet waits for skilled hands to unlock it. Every year this continues, 9 million more dreams shatter. Industries store without skilled workers. Our youth lose faith in the very idea of education. But there's hope. In part 2, we'll explore how technical education can transform both education and opportunity in Africa. We'll show you where the real jobs are, what skills industries need, and how technical training creates real opportunities. Join us as we continue to uncover the wealth beneath, where resources meet opportunity.